The Leningrad setup, as I like to call it, is one of the most effective setup-based openings. So we open up with one f4, and we don't really care what black plays. Let's say just d5. Now we play knight f3. We play g3, aiming to play bishop to g2 and quickly castle. And now we play this move d3. So similarly to the King's Indian, we are trying to fight for the center. So let's say black plays c5, and now we play this move queen e1, which might look a little bit weird, because in the King's Indian you usually play like knight to d2, preparing this e4 push, or rook to e1 looks more natural. But we play neither of those moves for a good reason. This rook wants to stay on the f-file, because if black ever gets to play e5, we will just take and open up our rook. So we play queen to e1. Now let's say black just continues developing. Now we finally play e4, with the idea of even pushing e5 and opening up this bishop. If they capture us, we just recapture with the pawn, keeping our center control. And now after like b6, we can go e5. Opening up this long diagonal, they have to move away the knight. So now we will just develop the rest of our pieces and be very happy and have an easy, straightforward game. We control this long diagonal, so we will probably play around that. If black doesn't care that we pushed for the center and they just, let's say, develop their bishop, we will go e5 anyways. See, we built up for the center and then we played e5. This opens up the bishop and black has to put the knight somewhere else. So we built for the center, then we play e5, and the best move for black now is just to retreat the knight. And this monster bishop is about to come alive. We will like continue developing our pieces, maybe try to open up the diagonal more in the future. But yeah, this opening is so straightforward, so easy, it doesn't require much theory. Black can also just push us, which you are gonna have to remember one line or idea here, which is rotating the knight over to the center. The best way to do this is probably to play a4, knight a3, knight c4, and just rotating it to the center. a4 to prevent any b5s, but why not put the knight on d2 and just rotate it this way? Well, black can take advantage of us putting the knight here, because we close this bishop a bit, and they can play knight to b4, where we have to defend this fork. And now black can play knight to g4, looking for this fork. So after we play knight c4, he can go b5, and after this, he can just take, we take, takes, and we have to double our pawns. Yeah, we open this up, but this pawn is just a target. That's why we play the move a4, to prepare this rotation. So let's say black plays a6 anyways. Now we can go like knight a3. b5 doesn't really work because we will just take. No, don't retake because you will hang the rook, so you will develop the bishop. Now black has to defend his pawn, and now we can play the move e5. Again, opening up the diagonal, taking more center space, and just putting the ideas of the Leningrad setup to work. In the bird, you have to be a little bit careful if black plays the move e5. This is the From's gambit. You can just take here, you basically have to. Now the move d6. You again have to kind of take. And in this gambit, black is aiming to punish you for weakening this diagonal. If you learn some theory, this is completely fine. It might look a little bit scary, but you're just a pawn up, you learn some lines, and you win. So for the black pieces, you can play it pretty much against everything, except one e4, because this is just horrendous. So it's usually played against d4. Now we play f5, white goes like c4, and we just continue building our little house over here. We castle, d6, now we play queen to e8, and now we can finally strike again in the center. After takes, they just develop, we will push, and we achieved the same thing as we did with the white pieces. We opened up our bishop, we got this pawn chain, now we will just continue developing our pieces, put the rooks out, put the queen out, and play chess. So it's not really called the Leningrad setup. As black, it's called the Leningrad variation. But I think this is just kind of the Leningrad setup, or the Dutch setup, or whatever. But it's similar as the King's Indian. You don't have to know very much theory, except for the sidelines. And you can just play. You should watch a couple more videos on it if you want to get a little bit deeper understanding. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. It was pretty quick, so bye.